All right, thanks for sticking with us here on Extra Time. Hashtag FC Extra Time. We will find your questions on Twitter. Quite a few good ones today.
How do you stick with us?
Well, you watch the show, and then after the show ends, you stick with us.
You've not thought that one through.
No, I haven't thought that. The show is in one place and Extra Time's in another, so you've sought us out somewhere.
On the podcast, Extra Time comes right after this show.
Shaka. You know, it just takes a rocket scientist sometimes to figure out.
Oh, no.
Thanks for sticking
Just
with
have to
us.
listen to the podcast.
Yep. Thank you. Thank you,
I
Shaka.
hate these cheers.
You and them cheers.
But they've been
They put little
upgraded.
cup
We have
holders on the
cup
side and
holders now.
everything.
Shaka says these cup holders have been here for weeks. This is, I swear, it's the first day I noticed it.
Well,
Fantastic.
need to come to work some more then.
Yep. All right, Sharat wants to know, how far can Barcelona go this season despite losing creative midfielders like Xavi a while ago and Iniesta? What do you guys think?
How far in terms of what?
Champions League. Let's say Champions League. He doesn't specify. But.
Barca can make a better fist of the Champions League this time. I thought no way Roma were going to turn around that second leg, but they did. They expect them to be better. And then when you look at how good they were in the league, just the one defeat to show in winning the title, and you still got Lionel Messi. Most importantly, yes, you lose Xavi, you lose Iniesta, but you've still got Lionel Messi, and you have Coutinho who will be available for both competitions. Barca are among the favourites, but they're not alone there.
Coutinho first full season. Arturo Vidal signed. Suarez, Messi. I know they've got a couple of older players at the back, but then their big rivals domestically have just lost 50 goals a season. That's an issue.
Hey, Raph, we'll bring you in here. What do you think about Barcelona's Champions League chances?
They'll be among the favourites. They're no longer the best or second or even third best team, I think, in the competition. So they have regressed. And I do worry about that lack of metronomic control that they've had in the centre. The emphasis seems to have shifted more to the final third. You can win that way, but I think it's more difficult, especially because Messi doesn't do a lot off the ball anymore. So I think it'll be tough for them to go all the way.
Shaka,
There's a word metronomic, by a man whose English isn't even his first language.
Raph's a smart guy. I'll give it to him.
There.
Look at that.
What can I say? Thank you very much.
Oh man, now Mexico still beat Germany in the World
I
Cup,
didn't say
right?
that. I didn't say that. Let's move on. We don't need to,
That was, metronomic. That.
Craig, I think this one's for you from Luis. Are Scotland an average footballing nation, or is the Federation doing a lousy job with Scottish talent and not preparing the national team enough to qualify for major tournaments?
Yes, all of those.
All of the above. C, all of the above.
There's a few younger players coming through, actually starting to play at a higher level in Scotland, but they're playing regular for teams like Aberdeen and Hibs and some young ones at Celtic and Rangers. But it's going to be a long, hard slog, even with the 48-team World Cup.
Even with the 48 team, you think? It'll be tough for them to qualify?
Well, it'll be easier, but it'll still be tough for them.
Really?
Yes.
Cigar wants to know, who has the best dance moves in the crew? Also, did any of you celebrate your dance move on football field? Yeah.
Steve, I vote for Steve Nicol as the
Steve's just the most willing
FC
dancer.
dance champion.
That doesn't make him the best. The most willing doesn't make you the best.
Well, if there's only one competitor, you win. Look at that. Who can compete with that?
Well, Hamas showed us in the show.
Nobody's going to challenge Steve.
No, you're right. There's nobody that can do that.
And then I had no reason to dance on the field.
Hey, Rafa, what kind of dancer are you? Metronomically balanced, or?
I'm not going to show off now, if that's what you're asking. I haven't quite got the right attire south of the shirt either to stand up. I'll leave that to your imagination.
Okay.
Let's move on. Let's move on.
I've got to say, when you go to weddings and stuff, that's not happening very often. And I would have to be absolutely blitzed out of my head
to get on the dance floor?
To get on the dance floor.
Really? You don't even approach it?
Because it's just awful. I mean, I'll admit
When
it.
you had a few drinks, it feels good though. Like, yeah,
I'll admit it.
I'm sure enough. Yeah, I'm sure enough. Yeah,
The joints loosen up a little
Yeah.
bit.
I'm
Look at
terrible
me.
dancer. Terrible.
These guys.
Yeah.
That and karaoke.
Oh, but karaoke, you're supposed to be bad. There's like an irony to it, right?
Oh, I can be bad at that.
Yeah. Hey, this one's for Raf. Is there any chance any club other than Bayern will win the Bundesliga this season?
There is a chance. It's not a big one because Bayern's squad allows them to be not at 100%. They can win not playing that convincingly as they did with Ancelotti in charge the season before last. But I think the chances of the teams behind them have risen. I think we see a much improved Dortmund under Lucien Favre, who's a stickler for detail. Only today I read a piece where he's correcting his players about the positioning of their wrist when they control the ball. He is so obsessed with the smallest details you can imagine. And I think Domenico Tedesco at Schalke and Leverkusen as well should put up a decent challenge. So I think Bayern will have it harder this time.
Craig, any manager ever talk to you about the positioning of your wrists while controlling the ball? And what would your response have been?
I may have laughed.
Yeah. Come see me at this wedding. I'll tell you exactly what you think.
That would have been a chat in the dressing room. That would have been a chat in the dressing room if somebody said that to you.
I don't know how you get as far as Bayern Munich with wrong wrists.
Yeah, right.
At some point, it's just.
So, I mean, I have
it's
to
too
say,
much.
when you're playing in front of 60,000 or 70, and you're playing in front of big crowds, and you're on TV and you're under pressure, and somebody's fizzing the ball at you, and because you know at the top level they really, fizz it into players at a good pace. I've never known anybody that's been thinking about the position of the wrist when they're trying to control the ball.
Almost to the point where it might be a distraction, right?
It would be.
Yeah.
Anyway, what's more worrying me, and Raf, what's your reasoning behind this unbelievable heat wave that they're getting in the UK at the moment?
My reasoning, I'm afraid it's not an isolated incident. This seems to be the new normal in Europe. Climate warning is real, and it's hit us, I think, much harder and much earlier than expected.
See that?
Don't know if there's a football angle to this. I'm thinking very hard if I can bring it back to football.
No, but it's a nightmare for
But,
you guys. It's a nightmare for you guys because nobody in the UK has air conditioning.
They don't have
Yeah,
they don't
but
have air conditioning.
listen. I mean, in relative terms, it could be a lot worse. Okay, I'd rather have slightly too much heat in London than the usual Great British Summer of law. So I think we are the lucky ones, one of the few lucky ones.
What is the Great Britain? I've never been to Britain.
No, but
in the
I
summer.
say that
What's
because I say that because
Rain.
it's almost been unprecedented. I was back in May; it was baking hot. My wife was back in June; it was baking hot, and it's still been baking hot. Now, as Raf said, if you get a week of good weather in a row and then it just rains the rest of the time, that's the norm. But nobody's prepared for it in the UK.
Really?
The houses are absolutely boiling because nobody. Here we've got air conditioning
Yeah.
because it's the norm. Sorry to digress. It's
That's
a very
okay.
important issue.
Yeah, no. It is an important issue, and that's what extra time is
God
for.
knows what's happening to Marcotti in his house.
Yeah.
And that heat.
Sweating in that basement. Oh, yeah, he's on holiday. He was in,
Well, he's not, but it's been going a heat wave for about 2 months.
yeah. So you can't escape the heat wave. All right, well,
Well, you can if you come here. It's been raining.
Let me tell you something. Between that metronome and this weather forecast and global warming and air conditioning,
And this has been a
and British
this has been a
summer of
message.
law,
This has been an imbalanced
the
extra
oddest
time.
extra time. And extra time, by its very nature, is
It's weird.
just weird.
It's a weird place.
This has been the
How many
weirdest
people
of the lot.
how many people are going to tweet now and say, stick to the questions? That's what you use.
Many.
Anyway, I don't care. Who cares?
Well,
You asking another one?
nope, I think that's it.
Yeah,
Raf
yeah.
wants to go. It's late in London.
Yep, it's late and it's hot.
And he's
so
sweating.
Let's put a wrap on it. Tomorrow's show will be perfectly metronomically balanced. That I can assure you.
All
Make
right.
sure
I
not
won't be
to
here.
miss it.
Nichols on. It'll be gastronomically
Yeah,
balanced.
we'll get some of those
wow,
dance
Mum.
moves tomorrow.
Well, thanks me, I'm not here.